Shalom, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai. I give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, the elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that taught us his word, peace and salutations to hopeful elect across the planet Earth, pushing this truth, in sincerity and in truth. Just want to talk about that war in heaven that's coming up real soon. Because when the Lord comes back, he's coming back for war. And that war in heaven is not, angels, as the Catholic Church, as the Christian Church teaches, that these angels, rebelled against the Most High and got kicked out of heaven. It's not what the war in heaven is referring to. It's referring to when Yahushai and his thousands and thousands of angels come back to start war with Esau and these nations, man. Because they're gonna, in the middle of that World War III, the Lord's gonna return to save his elect, but he's also going to have a fight with Esau in the skies, man. And all these nations are gonna stop fighting each other and focus on the Lord. And the Lord is going to destroy them, man. And then he's going to save, his elect. And then the missiles are going to touch down, But first scripture is Luke 21 and 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That cloud is representing a chariot, or what they call a UFO. It's the vehicles of Lord, man. They've been around since the creation. They played a role in creating the planet Earth, the chariot. So read the book of Genesis. It says, the Spirit of the Lord moved across the waters. The Spirit of the Lord moved, and you look that word up. The word there is hovered. So it's referring to those chariots, man. Verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So, we look forward to that day, man. We love when you see signs of the chariots, because the chariots show themselves, showing themselves more and more recently. As we get closer to the end, you're going to see more and more of them until the Lord comes back, and quote unquote cracks the sky, cracks the clouds, or whatever he said, but that's the elect's redemption. That's the elect's, salvation. It's getting beamed up in those ships, in order to avoid that nuclear holocaust, man. Because the only way you're really going to escape, that nuclear destruction is being in those ships, man, in the outer atmosphere. And then to be brought back down. But yeah, when these things come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh, man. So we're always looking up, waiting on the chariots of the Lord, Yeah, but this is Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. Yeah, the dragon is Esau, man. Esau and his military force, as well as these other nations are going to join with him, man. And prevail not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Yeah, it represents a rulership. Yeah, scripture said, new heavens and new earth. The old heavens and the old earth have passed away. That old rulership, man, this rulership that we're currently in right now. It's NATO, the EU beast system that we're in. Esau on top ruling. BRICS system, Esau's rulership. And neither was their place found any more in heaven, because the Lord's coming to take them out of rulership. He's coming to conquer. He's coming conquering and to conquer the crowns of all the kings. He's taking all the crowns, man. And then he's taking them out of their rulership, man. So that's what we're looking for, man. That's why we get excited, when this Iran and Israel wars start heating up, you know, rumors of wars heating up in the Middle East. Get excited about that because we're one step closer to that war in heaven, man. It's the Lord coming back and taking down this man's rulership and delivering his elect. We're that much closer, one day closer, man. Yeah, this is 2 Ezra 13:3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Yeah, man, he's gonna crack the skies, man. It says thousands of heaven, innumerable multitude. This is Psalm 68:17. And the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, the holy place. So when the Lord comes back, man, he's going to fill those skies. He's going to fill the skies with thousands of angels. As a man wax strong, somebody have a shy, with the thousands of angels, or the thousands of heaven. And he turned his countenance to look, and all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth, but it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, that came out of the sky, man. So all these other nations are gonna link up, with Esau and his air force to try to take down Yahushua, and they're gonna fail miserably. There was a quote by that ex-president Ronald Reagan. He said, if the earth was ever threatened by an outside force, they would come together, so to speak. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They showed you that, and also in that movie Independence Day. They all stopped fighting each other, and they came together to fight. The chariot, or the aliens in the movie, which actually represented, Yahushua, man. But I beheld, and lo, and he graved himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and could not. So yeah, that's showing how big, that chariot, the Lord's going to be in it. He likened it unto a mountain. He thought he was looking at a mountain up in the sky, but he couldn't find where that mountain was taken. There was no gaps in the valley, in the mountainside. So that's that power and great glory. The Lord's coming in, man. And they shall also see, man, the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory, man. Because it'll be like a big mountain up in that sky, man, along with the thousands of heaven. So it's gonna be like nothing we've ever seen before, man. We've never seen anything like it. Verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. Yeah, of course they're gonna be a fearful state, man, when they see that thing. Some people are gonna have heart attacks, man. Hearts failing them for fear. When they see that, but the Lord's gonna put the spirit in them to still fight. Just like he had a hardened, Pharaoh's heart, so he could display his power. Because Pharaoh would have just gave up easy. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so the Lord can show his true power, man, and all that he could do, and really bring Egypt to their knees. That's what the Lord's going to do again, man. He's going to harden their hearts, these generals and these pilots, to fight the Lord when he comes back, man. If not, they would just all end up going AWOL and running when they see a big mountain-sized chariot in the sky, man. They're not going to want to fight that thing, man. Along with the thousands that are going to accompany Yahushua. They're going to want to go hide under a rock somewhere. But no, but the Lord's going to put the spirit in them to fight. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword or any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as if it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. A blast of fire, a flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burn them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. Then, when I saw this, I was afraid. So, Ezra, he was afraid when he saw this vision. So you can imagine how the pilots are going to feel, man. When they see that blast of fire, that concentrated fire, lasers that are going to come out of them chariots, man, and burn them up. Nothing was to be perceived but dust and smell of smoke. Just like in that movie, War of the Worlds, Yeah, jump down to verse 29. Behold, the days come, and the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Yeah, because that's what them chariots are for, that deliverance, man. That's how the elect's going to be delivered. Jumping down to verse 34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And by this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest. Actually, I skipped it. I wanted to. I just want to jump to verse 33. That's what I wanted. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle. They have one against another. So yeah. They're going to stop fighting each other. They're going to come and fight the Lord, man. Yeah, that's the point, man. That war in heaven. But them chariots have always been there. Go to 2 Kings 6 and 16. This was when Israel was fighting against the Syrians. And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And some chariots are always there, man. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes of the young man and saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So yeah, there was a young man that, he was fearful of the Syrian, of that army. I'll just read verse 15. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early, he had gone forth, and behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, what shall we do? And he saw that whole host, man, of the Syrians. He was fearful. It was a fearful sight. Verse 16, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. He's referring to the chariots, man. The angels are always there. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh Shem Shai, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened his eyes. And the young man And he saw, and behold, a mountain was full of horses, and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So he had the whole spiritual army was right there, man. The chariots was right there. Yeah, so yeah, the angels right there, ready, man. It's like war in heaven. But also after they get demolished and destroyed, Esau and his host, the host of these other nations, man. The Lord's gonna save his elect. So Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made account of his labors. Yeah, we're seeing that now, man. Seeing the men of the Lord, great boldness out there, man, in the streets. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, man. Because that's a strange sight, man. It's like we're in Luke. It says, "Look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh," man. Getting beamed up into them ships and chariots, man. The elect. And they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, "This is he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. We fools account his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the saints, children of the Most High, and his lot among the saints?" That's all these other heathens, man, that look down on Jake, that hate Jake, that counted his life as nothing, life madness, and all that. They're gonna be in surprise, man, when they see, Jake getting beamed up, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. Our heart's gonna sink. Therefore, verse 6, therefore we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined on us. And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Unless they're gonna realize, man, they're not the people of the Most High, man. And they're gonna realize it, man, in that day. But yeah, I just wanted to do a video on the war in heaven, man. The Lord returns, man, which is real soon, man. Chariots are here, just like we read in 2 Kings. They're already here, but they're gonna really show themselves in mass. When Yahushua comes back, they're ready to, to blast Esau out of here, man, and to take him out of his rulership. With that, shalom.